Hey folks, welcome back to Anish Learns to Code. So this video is a little bit controversial. It's about a little controversial topic, and people who know me personally have actually asked me this question, like, why did you leave CERN willingly? And are you crazy? Are you insane? So I wanted to talk about that in this video because yes, it is a little insane. I never thought I would do that. So basically, okay, a little timeline. I think I can just open LinkedIn here. Ah, yeah, you can see my LinkedIn feed. Okay, so basically, I applied as a technical student at CERN in 2018. I was extremely lucky. I was selected. So for 1 year, 2 months, I worked at CERN as a technical student from September 2018 to 2019. After that, I came back to India, where I'm from, to finish my bachelor's degree from Delhi Technological University, DTU. If anybody out there is aware of this college, whenever you Google DTU, there's another DTU in Denmark. That's Denmark Technical University. So that's the internationally famous DTU. I'm the other DTU. Okay, so yeah, I went back to my university to finish my bachelor's, and after finishing my bachelor's, I once again applied to CERN as a fellow. So the fellowship program now is called the grad program, but it is still the same. During my time, 2021, 2020, it was called the fellowship program. So I applied for the fellowship program. Once again, I was extremely lucky. I was selected and I joined as a full stack software developer. So before working at CERN, I was working at Zomato, and I received my job at Zomato like from my university. So and Zomato was a very good experience for me. So Zomato, for those of you who don't know, it's a startup in India which is now grown really large. It's now unicorn, valued more than $1 billion. They have even had an IPO, a successful IPO, and so basically it is the Uber Eats of India. You order food, they deliver it from different aggregators, from different restaurant partners throughout India. And I think Zomato has now even spread up in different countries such as Turkey, Portugal, etc. So it's not even just one country anymore. So when I was working at Zomato, I was people who order food from Zomato, they are aware of the app like on Android or iOS. So that's like the client facing thing. And the other facing part is the restaurant side. So when you order something, the restaurant receives the order. So I was working on the restaurant side of things. And over there, I worked at Zomato for a very short time, just 5 months, little over 5 months, almost 6 months. And during that time, I implemented very large features. For example, I implemented a feature called Insights, and that feature helped restaurant partners see all the different statistics. For example, what is the top selling food item? How much money are they making? Where are they losing money? Where are they making money? What kind of revenue are they earning? Etc. So very hardcore, very real statistics live, so which help them to improve their business. And because this was such a big feature, every restaurant used it. So when I created this feature, the next day, million people, 2 million people use this. So Zomato was a very rewarding and very fulfilling experience for me, because all the features that I implemented, all the software, the code that I shipped was used real life by millions of users on a daily basis, and it had a very big impact. And the features that I created for Zomato in a very short time, like just 5 months, 6 months, were very big, very impactful features. And I'm also very grateful to my manager who gave me the opportunity to solve such problems. So it was actually a very big conundrum for me to leave Zomato and go to CERN, because on one hand, I enjoy my job at Zomato. On the other hand, it's CERN. It's CERN. It's Switzerland, and you go to Geneva, and you get a lot of money, and it's no taxes. So there are many, many, many benefits actually of working at CERN. I'm just going to list out a few. So the first very big benefit: you don't have to pay taxes. Because yeah, that's amazing. There is jobs like this exist. So uh, Geneva in Switzerland is a very small place, but this very small place is home to many international organizations. So United Nations, World Health Organization, the Red Cross, CERN. I can even just open a list. Okay, list of inter. So you can see how fast I type. International organizations in Geneva. Not even Switzerland, just Geneva. So there are more than 42. So the United Nations, World Health, World Trade Organization, Interparliamentary CERN, International Labour Organization, and I don't even know all of them. The International Red Cross. So all of these organizations, because they're international, because many, many, many countries, for example, United Nations, all countries in the world pay for the United Nations to function. So it will be extremely unfair if every country is paying for the UN and United Nations is in Switzerland, and because it's in Switzerland, people who are earning from United Nations are paying taxes to Switzerland. So everybody's paying the UN, and in the end, Switzerland earns money. So that will be unfair, and the same goes for all of these other international organizations. So that's why there's like a special law in Geneva in Switzerland that for these exclusive special international organizations for which are not actually generating profit, like United Nations is not there to make money, it's an NGO, it's there to help people. Similarly, CERN, it's a scientific research institution. The focus of CERN is to uh, investigate is physics research, particle research. The focus is, it's not a profitable organization. So for these organizations, there's a special law that people who work in these organizations don't have to pay taxes, because that will be sort of unfair. Like all over the entire world is paying for these organizations, and Switzerland gets to pocket the money. So that's so these if you work in CERN, you don't have to pay taxes. That was really amazing. Another amazing part was 30 days paid vacation every year. That's really amazing because 30 days doesn't even include Saturdays and Sundays. So this is more than 1 month. Because in 1 month, if we say there are 4 weeks and every week we have to work 5 days, like Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you don't have to work. So that's 20 days, 20 working days in 1 month. So 30 days of paid vacation is actually more than 1 month of vacation in the year. Or on that, you have 7 days of sick leave without a doctor's note. So you can just, if you're feeling sick, you can just call in and say, I'm feeling sick and I'm not coming in today. So that's 30 plus 7 days, 37 days, just like that. On top of that, if you are actually sick, by the way, I never did that. Whenever I took the sick leave, I was actually sick. I don't want my reputation tarnished here. Okay. Yeah. So if you are actually sick and you have a doctor's note, like of course something happened. You have unlimited sick days with the doctor's note. By the way, I broke these two fingers. So outside CERN, there's a very large roundabout which is called the Large Car Collider. So in CERN, we have a large hadron collider which oscillates particles and collides particles to study their nature. And outside CERN, we have a large car collider where we oscillate cars and we collide them. I can show you, I'm not lying. So we open Google Maps and we see Large Car Collider. Here we go, Large Car Collider. It's a tourist attraction. Tourists come to see it. Not now, Google. Come, okay. So basically, this thing that you see here, this triangular thing, I hope that you can follow my mouse. This triangular thing is CERN. And if we look carefully, we can see the border. Where is the border? Where is the border? Yeah, okay, so this triangular thing is CERN. My bad. This triangular thing is CERN. And this line here, that you see dividing this triangular thing, is the border of Switzerland and France. So this part here, where my mouse is rotating like madly, is Switzerland. And this part here is France. So CERN is on the border. Half of it, like a part of it is in Switzerland, part of it is in France. And this roundabout here is a very major roundabout. I know it doesn't look very big on this map. It is extremely big. And as the name suggests, large car collider, cars collide here. So we can look at some fun photographs. Do we have any fun photographs? No fun photographs. So on this large car collider, I was biking and there was a lot of snow and I was turning and I slipped and I broke these two fingers. And I had a doctor's note and I did not go to CERN for 2 days. So that's the only time that I actually used this. Let no one say otherwise. Coming back to the topic. You have an opportunity to live in either France or Switzerland. So this is extremely interesting. When you work in a country, it makes obvious sense you're going to live in that country. Nobody thinks that I'm going to work in one country and live in another country. That's not, of course, in remote jobs you can do that, but not in a remote job, for an actual job. For example, if when I was working in India, I'm not going to say I'm going to live in Bhutan and work in India. But because of Geneva's geographical location, we can go back. So if you just look at like Geneva overall, so this thing over here is Geneva, and it's a triangular shaped, and on all sides it's surrounded by France. So this is what many people do, that they work in Geneva and they live in France. And so I used to live just after this roundabout. So I used to take the bus, or I could even bike. I biked bus, there was a mixer, and it was just like under 5 kilometers. And in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I was in my office. So I used to live in one country, France, and I used to work in another country, Switzerland. And that had many, many advantages, because the salary that I received was a Swiss salary, but my expenses were French, and the cost of living is much higher in Switzerland than France. I think Zurich and Geneva consistently rank as one of the top most 10 expensive places in the world. If not, I think Zurich was ranked as a number one most expensive place in the world to live in. So Geneva is extremely expensive. It's the top 10 in the world. Neighboring France is the countryside, it's a village. It's expensive, but it's not as expensive. So this is a very big advantage. You earn in Swiss francs, Swiss salary, and you spend it in France. So that is an opportunity that CERN gave me that not many companies can do, which is pretty amazing. So I used to, and the thing is, even when I was not aware of all these facts before coming here. So initially, when I was selected, CERN gave me like an email, and in the email it was written, you have a choice. You can live in the city, Geneva, which is more of a city, and you can live in France, which is more countryside. At that point of time, I had no idea about money, about taxes, about anything. And my first reaction was, I'm from Delhi. People who don't know, the population of Delhi is more than 20 million, and it's a bustling city. And I did not want to live in the city. My first reaction was, I'm going to live in France, calm countryside. I don't want to live in the city. At that point of time, I was not even aware of the money, taxes, purchasing power parity, cost of living, anything. So even without all these facts, my first reaction was actually, I genuinely want to live in France. And yeah, so that was pretty amazing. And the thing of no taxes extends further. So let's say that you want to buy a car. On cars, there are many taxes. So there are like the TVA, the initial VAT, and there's the environmental tax and road tax, etc., etc. But once again, you don't have to pay taxes on those cars. So you get extreme discounts on cars, and the more expensive the car is, the more you get, the higher the discount is because of the percentage. So people at CERN take advantage of this a lot. So for extremely expensive cars like top end Mercedes, BMW, Porsches, Teslas, like creme de la creme, really high end cars, you get very big discounts. So if you ever enter a CERN parking lot and you see many Mercedes and many Porsches, you will understand why that is the case. So if I would have continued working at CERN, I could have one day like bought a fancy car. Not that I wanted to, but yeah, sure. So there were many benefits of working at CERN. And when I received my job offer from CERN, in my mind, it was like, this is the best day of my life. This is like the perfect thing. What could be better? I would have never thought. If someone would have told me that a day will come that you will willingly resign, you will willingly leave CERN, after told them on their face, you're crazy. Like, why would I leave CERN? So the very fact that I arrived at this point, like I want to leave, even surprises me. It surprised my family. It's my brother, my father, the extended family, my friends who knew me at CERN. They were like, Anish, are you okay? My boss, this Mac can't connect to iCloud. Apple, seriously, okay. See, even Apple is worried about me. I'm telling you. So yeah, even my boss was extremely nice. Like, and even he asked me like, Anish, are you okay? Like, are you sure you want to do this? So I just want to discuss like why I arrived at this point. So CERN does have many advantages, no doubt, and I'm very grateful that I got an opportunity 2 times to work there. Will always be very grateful to CERN, and I still have many cherished colleagues, good friends at CERN. Where I'm currently living, like Geneva is 1 hour 20 minutes away from here. Almost on a weekly basis, I go to Geneva because almost all of my friends are from Geneva. I used to live there for more than 2 years. Um, so the thing that I did not enjoy so much about CERN was that the software stack we were using and the type of work that we were doing was not as challenging as I was doing at Zomato or as I was expecting. And it was not as impactful. For example, Zomato was a startup and millions of people are using it. And you're shipping out new features on a daily, on a weekly basis. and you're constantly thinking, okay, how can we improve this? What new thing can we add? Okay, what can we do to increase our revenue? What can we do this? There's a lot of thought that goes on. And CERN, the main um, thing that CERN does is physics research, particle research. So the software development team, the software side of CERN, is there to support the scientists, to support the particle physicist. So the main thing is not the software side. The main thing is the physics side, in which they are leading the world, in which they are cutting edge. And if you're a physicist, it is. I'm not a physicist. I don't know, but in my opinion, it is the place to be. It is like where everything is happening. I could be wrong. I'm not a physicist. You can leave a comment. You can tell me how wrong I am. I could be wrong. And but on the software side of things, it is more as a supporting facility that okay, these are the infrastructures, these are the products that you've already built 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So the programs that I was working on were older than me. When I joined CERN, I was 21 years old, and the program that I was working on was more than 25 years old. So the code that I was working on was older than me, and many people had contributed to that with different coding patterns, different programming paradigms. And so the software side of CERN was not like, okay, what is the new cutting edge thing that we can do? Okay, what is the new feature that we can add? It was more like, this works. We have to maintain it. We have to support it. It has to continue functioning properly, smoothly, everything because it already exists. Now the main focus is not to improve it or to drastically change it, but to maintain it as it is, so that everything continues smoothly, sailingly. And when I described my job to people, they said this is the best job in the world. You're very relaxed, you're very calm, you're not stressed out about this thing, that thing. It's a stable environment. It's not like a startup. Oh, now they're earning. Okay, now they're not earning. The revenues are not good. Layoffs are happening. The job market is down. Job market up. Doesn't matter. CERN every annum, every year, gets fixed amount of money from every country, every member state from around the world. They have a fixed inflow. They have fixed number of people with fixed salaries, fixed outflow. Everything goes on exactly as it is, which is not a bad thing, which is very good. So, and I told people that what you're saying is absolutely right. And for many people, this would be the dream job. And this was the dream job when I joined. But over time, I think that something inside me like snapped. I was like, okay, maybe I want to work on something more challenging. Maybe I want to learn something new, new technology stacks, new, because I'm starting out my career. I'm not a 50-year-old person who's like, okay, I have a family, this is my pension plan, this is my car, these are my two houses, I just want to relax now. So, if in the beginning stage of my career, I just relax and for 3 years just let it smoothly sail by, it would become very difficult when I had to leave CERN, which I did have to leave CERN because nobody can work at CERN permanently. This is another interesting feature of all the international organizations inside Geneva, including CERN. Nobody is permanent. So everybody gets a contract, 6 month contract, 1 year contract, 2 year contract, max to max 3 year contract. But after 3 years, you're out. So the entire city of Geneva, I know this sounds crazy, but the entire city of Geneva churns out, cycles out in 3 years. So every three, the apartments are the same, the buildings are the same, but 3 years, it's a completely new people. So if you go to Geneva, it's even next to impossible to even meet Swiss people because it's very, everybody there is international. Geneva is one of the most international places in the world. Like more than, I think statistically more than 50% are like non-Swiss in Geneva. So everybody you meet is from some other part of the country, some other part of the world, sorry, and from many different countries. And it's very hard to even meet a Swiss person. So this was another thing about CERN, that you make friends, 6 months, 1 year, they're gone. New people come, you once again make friends, once again, then they're gone. And the same with code. A junior person comes, writes code, junior person goes away. Another junior person comes, junior person writes code, junior person goes away. So there are very few senior people, and the entire code base has been written by junior, mid junior, above junior, mid senior, like level of people. And there's constant churn. And my contract, which I received for the fellowship, which was the longest duration contract, was for 3 years. And after 3 years, no matter how much I loved CERN, no matter how much CERN loved me, I would have had to leave. And after leaving, it would have been um, it would have been a very big shock coming into the sort of actual private startup kind of companies, which are maybe not as smooth sailing as CERN. So that's why I took the decision that maybe I need to first grow in my beginning years of my career. And so that is why I decided, yeah, to leave CERN. I don't know whether it was the right thing to do. Time will tell. Maybe it was the wrong thing to do. Maybe I go back to CERN. I don't know whether they'll take me again or not. I don't know. So, but yeah, this is my overall experience, because when from the outside, even to me, CERN looks like a very rosy picture. Like it's perfect. Like, what could be better? Like, you're in Geneva, you're in Switzerland, you're earning in Swiss francs, you're living in France, you don't have to pay taxes, you get holidays, and you get discount on cars. You can even get diplomatic immunity if you're at a high level in CERN, because it's an international organization. You get actual diplomatic immunity if you're sitting in a car and a police officer stops you, like for speeding, to check your car, to check your compartment. You can say, show your CERN badge. I have diplomatic immunity. You cannot find my car. You cannot charge me. You cannot check me. You cannot ask me for my ID. Boom! You cross borders. So, do I miss it? Yeah, I do. There are things that I miss about CERN. But at my current job, which is once again a startup, I'm once again working hands on features, and uh, actually causing, actually creating new features that have an impact. So that is also very rewarding. So it was uh, lose something, win something. But yes, I hope that this video gives you some idea of the benefits and pros and cons of working at CERN, and some idea of what the scenario of Geneva and bordering France look like. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I will try to answer in the comments, or maybe another video. So yeah, à toutes, ciao, see you in another video.